Evening, this is Channel 5 and My 5 with Tuesday's top stories from the UK and around the world at 5 o'clock.
Good evening, welcome to 5 News with me, Dani Sinha.
And me, Tessa Chapman. Our headlines tonight: more evidence of Russian war crimes in Ukraine.
New satellite images contradict Moscow's claims that any civilian deaths happened after their troops left.
In the past hour, Ukraine's president gave the UN Security Council this dressing down.
Where is the security that the Security Council needs to guarantee? It's not there.
Also tonight, a British family's tragedy in Australia. A father and son die in a freak landslide that left the mother and other sons seriously injured. Their 15-year-old daughter had to raise the alarm.
How she maintained her composure during such a terrible time is nothing short of heroic.
And not good enough, how Britain's falling behind in cancer care.
A major new report says we must get better at spotting cases sooner.
From across the UK, this is 5 News.
Hello. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has launched an angry attack on Russia for its alleged war crimes in his country. In a passionate plea to the United Nations today, he called on the world to act, saying Russian troops were killing and torturing ordinary people just for pleasure. Well, Moscow has rejected allegations of atrocities, but new satellite images contradict their claims that any civilian deaths happened after their troops left. A warning: Simon Weigar's report contains images and themes you may find distressing. Well, so many people, of course, are affected by this, and we want to hear your experiences of cancer care, don't we, Tessa?
We do, that's right. Have you struggled to get an appointment or diagnosis, or perhaps a friend or family member has? I've got the 5 phone. You can get in touch by WhatsApping us on 07555 500 501 with your messages. You can also contact us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and I'll read out some of your messages later.
Now, do you remember this? The last desperate rush to get out of Afghanistan before the Taliban arrived. Well, this was last summer, so what is it like living there now?
And another airport, but a very different story. These are hopeful passengers in Manchester trying to get away for Easter, but dozens of flights are being cancelled. We'll find out why.
We'll see you after the break. Welcome back. This is 5 News. Our top story tonight. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has launched an angry attack on Russia for its alleged war crimes in his country. Addressing the United Nations today, he called on the world to act, saying Russian troops were killing and torturing ordinary people just for pleasure.
Now, as Ukraine dominates the headlines, the situation in Afghanistan risks becoming a forgotten crisis. Since the Taliban took control last summer, the economy has collapsed and 24 million people are in need of humanitarian assistance, half of them children. We asked Afghan producer Kamal Emran and cameraman Shikabi Omar to give us an insight into what life is like there now, more than 7 months since the regime took charge.
And Tessa, a real reminder there that it's children who are the most vulnerable in these sort of situations, isn't it?
I think, and a powerful message not to forget Afghanistan.
Absolutely. OK, Tessa, thank you. Well, what's it like going into space? This man knows. He'll be telling us all about it and also sharing his thoughts on what the future holds for the partly Russian-run International Space Station.
And fancy starting a holiday like this? No, neither do we. But with COVID cases soaring, we'll try to find out if this is something we'd better get used to.
Quick look at the weather now. We'll see you in a second.
Breathe easy and enjoy the fresh air. Weather on Channel 5, sponsored by Sterimar Congestion Relief Nasal Spray.
Good evening. It's going to be a windy Wednesday. I think we'll all see some sunshine, but most of us will also see some showers, feeling much colder by Thursday.
Breathe easy and enjoy the fresh air. Weather on Channel 5, sponsored by Sterimar Congestion Relief Nasal Spray. The Pollen Report on Channel 5, sponsored by Sterimar Hay Fever and Allergy Relief.
With the colder air set to return, it does mean the tree pollen levels will be dropping over the next few days. They were up to high for a time across East Anglia in the southeast today, back to moderate tomorrow, and staying moderate across the south on Thursday, remaining low across the north.
The Pollen Report on Channel 5, sponsored by Sterimar Hay Fever and Allergy Relief.
From fixing sinks to covering the kinks, this plumber from Leicestershire has been singing his way to stardom. Find out how his life is about to change even more.
Hello, I'm Dani. Sinha. It's coming up to 5:30. Our main stories this evening. A British father and son have died in a freak landslide in Australia. The mother and another son have been seriously injured. Their 15-year-old daughter had to raise the alarm. And our top story, more evidence of Russian war crimes in Ukraine has been revealed. New satellite images contradict Moscow's claims that any civilian deaths happened after their troops left. Well, that new evidence has seen the government here try to build more support for tougher action on Russia. Let's return to our political editor, Andy Bell, who's at the Foreign Office for us. And Andy, getting international support for tougher sanctions, it's much easier said than it's done, isn't it? OK, well, he hasn't ruled out space again. Let's now, though, return to our story on cancer care and how the UK is slipping behind many other countries because we're taking too long to diagnose cases. We've been asking for your experiences, whether you or a close friend or a relative has had delays with treatment. Tessa, we've been asking people on the 5 phone what they've been telling you.
Yeah, that's right. I'll start with Simone from Birmingham. She says, I've been waiting for 1 year for surgery. Tracy from Wigan has a sad story. She says, my mum was neglected because of COVID. She has pancreatic cancer in the family. She should have been tested regularly, but was left for 10 months without a scan. It was pancreatic cancer which spread to her lungs and liver, and she sadly died in February this year. Tracy says, I feel robbed. This could have been avoided. Something different, though, from someone in North Somerset who wanted to remain anonymous. She said, I was diagnosed during COVID and the tests and treatment have been numerous, quick and incredibly efficient. I feel really lucky to have all these wonderful people looking after me during this incredibly difficult time.
OK, well, that's a nice end and a positive. Thank you very much, Tessa. Well, we're going to be taking a short break now in a few minutes' time. The lesser-known McCartney takes us back to the house where it all began and...
Times are longer on your side, every day you're getting older.
From mending pipes to the White Stripes, how the plumber who got his record deal at 49 is now going one better.
Can't wait for that. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back. Now, in a typical council house in Liverpool, an extraordinary journey started. 20 Forthron Road is where Paul McCartney spent his later childhood with his brother Mike. There he wrote some of their early hits with John Lennon, including this one. Someone like that.
I saw Roy Hodgson in a supermarket once.
Did
Can
you
beat that?
I actually tried on the same top, not in the same change room, but we picked the same top with Joan Collins.
Joan Collins?
I know.
No way.
I wasn't quite sure. It was somewhere in London. Anyway, there we are. We bought the same top at the end. That's it from us. We'll see you again tomorrow at 5.
Alex has got the weather next, but thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Breathe easy, whatever the weather. Weather on Channel 5, sponsored by Sterimar Congestion Relief Nasal Spray.